All right, problem number 1. We're going to play around with Mr. Potato Head. May have been a while for some of you since you played with Mr. Potato Head, but or if you ever had a Mr. Potato Head toy. But back when I was a kid, the you used to buy the Mr. Potato Head set and actually put the pieces into an actual potato, or at least that was an option. I think they did have a plastic version, a plastic potato, but I can remember seeing ones that you actually stuck into a real potato. But now they're just plastic, and there's a little hatch in the back to put all the little parts. So, so anyway, Mr. Potato Head has 4 hats, 3 sets of eyes, 2 noses, 3 mouths, 1 pair of ears, 1 pair of arms, 4 sets of shoes, and we're asked to find how many ways Mr. Potato Head could be assembled. Make sure you read the whole problem though too. Assume that he must have 1 set of eyes, a nose, a mouth, 2 ears, 2 arms, 2 shoes, but he does not have to wear a hat. And that's a key thing to remember in this problem. Also, the pairs of eyes and shoes cannot be separated, and the parts must be placed. Ooh, that's a bad. That's supposed to be placed, not places. Must be placed in their appropriate slots. Okay, so we can't put the ear in the nose hole. Okay. So let's take a look at this problem. I suppose I should give you a hint first. I'm going to scroll down and give us a little more room because the problem itself takes up a lot of room. So, so let's see. This is pretty much a straightforward counting problem. So if you've done counting problems and you know how to do them, it probably shouldn't be too hard. The biggest trick is to remember you have 4 hats, but he doesn't have to wear a hat. So he has actually a 5th option for what to do with, what to wear on his head. He might have a black hat and a red hat and a green hat and a purple hat. But one of his options is an invisible hat or a no hat. Okay, so he's actually got 5 options for his head. So don't forget that. And other than that, it's pretty straightforward. If you don't know counting problems, you might have to go back to and just think of one way you can approach it is to look at a tree. So here's Mr. Potato Head, and he's getting dressed. Oops, didn't mean to do that. He's getting dressed, and let's say he first of all makes a choice on the hats he's going to wear. Okay, so let's say he has a black hat, and he has a blue hat, and he's got a red hat, and let's say he has a purple hat. And one of his options is no hat. Okay, so he first of all makes a choice of hat. And then no matter what he chooses for hat, he has some choices for, let's say, eyes. Okay, so you could think of this as, I'm going to write eyes here. So you could think of it as, okay, so maybe he has some angry eyes. And maybe he has some happy eyes. And then maybe he has some sleepy eyes. Okay, so for each hat, no matter what hat he chooses, he's going to have 3 choices for eyes. So you could draw out the whole tree. It's going to be a very big tree because your next choice would be noses. Okay, so you're going to have 2 choices for noses. But and then every endpoint, by the time when you draw this out, every endpoint is going to be a different path. It's going to be the endpoint of a different path in this tree. And the number of endpoints is going to be the number of ways that you can arrange Mr. Potato Head. Okay, So you could start by drawing this tree, but after a while you're going to recognize that if you have 5 hats and each of the 5 hat branches has 3 eye branches, then you're going to end up with 15 endpoints at that point, right? 5 times 3, or 3 times 5, is going to give you 15. And then if you have 2 more, each one of those 15 branches has 2 more branches to represent the noses, then then you've got 15 times 2, which is 30 endpoints. So you can see we're just multiplying. So we'd have 5 choices for the first, for the hats, 3 choices for the eyes, and 2 choices for the noses. And since this is just a hint at this point, I won't multiply all that out for you yet. But you can see that the number of ways that we can arrange Mr. Potato Head are just going to be we just multiply 3 times 5 times 2. Okay, so but it helps to sort of when you're first doing these problems to keep in mind what you're doing and drawing out the branches. And you're going to say, well, I really don't want to have to draw out all those branches because there's going to be a lot of them. And you'll recognize a pattern here. So so that's my hint. I've practically done the problem for you, though. So so go ahead and finish the problem, or here's the solution. So like I said, we just need to multiply the number of choices for hat times the number of choices for eyes times the number of choices for noses. Okay, and then we're going to have a choice of mouth here, so we got 3 mouths, and then we have 1 pair of ears. Okay, so there's really no choice there. Let's multiply by 1, but that doesn't really do anything. The same way with arms. We just have 1 choice for arms, and then we have 4 choices for shoes. Okay, so this is hats. 5 choices for hats, 3 choices for eyes, 2 choices for noses, 3 choices for mouths, and this is ears, arms, and this one is shoes. Okay, so and that's just going to be, if we were to draw out this tree, that's how many branches we would end up getting if we multiply all of these numbers together. So you could use a calculator to do that, but I always like to look at this and look for easy ways. And I'm seeing here that I can take 5 times 2, that's 10, 3 times 3 is 9, 10 times 9 is 90, that's easy. And then I can take 90 times 4 and I get 360. Okay? So don't just reach for your calculator. Look at it and see if you can figure out some quick ways to do the arithmetic. Okay? Exercise your mind and try to do as much mental math as you can. It's good for you. So the answer is 360 ways to arrange Mr. Potato Head. All right?